Welcome back to Women for Wealth. Today I want to talk about habits that stop you from becoming wealthy. So first of all, let's talk about indulging in instant gratification, which is basically living beyond your means. It's lifestyle inflation. So you are spending more money than you bring in. And we see this all the time with people that are hung up on trying to keep up with the Joneses. Don't try to live beyond your means to impress other people. Instead, focus on impressing yourself with your wealth and spending less than what you earn so that you can save and you can retire wealthy. The second habit that is stopping you from being wealthy is actually having loser friends. So the saying is, you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around the most. So make sure you pick good friends. If your friends are overspending, if your friends are driving brand new cars, or even worse, flipping a lease vehicle every 3 years, they're just not somebody that you should surround yourself with. They are not going to be the best influence on you. So you might need to swap out some friends. You might need to find some higher caliber friends. You might need to find some friends that also have an interest in, how do I become wealthy? What habits, what things do I do that can help me gain wealth over continue to stay broke? I mean, because honestly, if you don't change your thought process and your thought patterns and your habits, then you're going to stay broke. It's just a fact. Another thing that's stopping you from being wealthy is checking social media first thing every morning. When you wake up in the morning, if one of the first things you do is you check your social media, then you're getting an immediate hit of dopamine, which makes you become artificially inflated with dopamine hits, and you can actually become addicted to dopamine. We've seen there are several doctors on YouTube that talk about dopamine addiction and how we're getting these hits of dopamine throughout the day with social media, which actually is not good for us. It is better in the morning, and it's recommended actually, instead of looking at social media, look at your bank account. How much money do you have in your savings? Look at your retirement savings. How much money do you have in your retirement fund? And let that be something that keeps you focused on your goals. And as you see your savings account increase, that is going to give you your dopamine hit, because you're going to be happy that you see that amount increase, and you're going to be like, yes. And you're going to want to continue that, and you're going to want to increase that number. And then it becomes like a game. I know years ago, my husband and I used to try to do the grocery game or the shopping game, where we would do coupons and we would try to get more product based on value than what we spent. And so when we would go to the grocery store, our goal was to always walk out with more value than we had spent for whatever we were buying. And we did that through some extreme couponing methods and techniques that we had learned from a class that we had taken at our local church. We don't do couponing anymore, not because I don't think it's a good way to save money. Part of the challenge for us was that I struggled to do the change out. So when you go couponing, or extreme couponing especially, you end up with what we called the hoard, which was just an extreme amount of various items. You'd have 12 toothpaste. Well, that's going to take a very long time to go through. So you had to be methodical to take toothpaste from the front, move it forward. If you bought more toothpaste using your coupons on sale, you had to put that at the back. So you were using the oldest product first. I was not the best at that, especially when it came to canned goods. I can't tell you the number of canned goods that I threw away, because they were, honestly, when we moved, I had cans that were 5 and 6 years expired. And so I just ended up having to throw them away, because you couldn't even donate those. So that's one of the things that I want you to, think about. If you are going to try to use some of these techniques to try to save money, such as extreme couponing, do you have the processes in place to where you are flipping that merchandise and that food or whatever it is periodically, to where you are using the oldest and you are keeping it replenished, and you're not ending up like I did, where I decided it wasn't for us? Because when you throw away 5 cans of corn, you're like, even though I got them for pennies on the dollar, that was still money that I spent. It was time that I spent clipping the coupons and going and procure it. It was space that was being taken up. I actually had shelving in my garage that I stored. Again, I called it the hoard. And so it was taking up space. I was storing it in the garage. For all those reasons, I stopped doing it because it didn't make sense for us. So anything that you do in an effort to save money, just think about it. Use your brain and say, okay, is this what is going to help me in my current situation to become wealthy? And if it's not, stop doing it. Get rid of it. Just because it works for somebody else doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And stop checking your social media first thing in the morning. Like I said, a better way to do it, or a better thing to do, is, check your bank account. Focus on your goals. Get that little dopamine hit if you need that in the morning by seeing your savings account increase. So here are 5 habits to break if you want to become wealthy. So the first one, impulse buying and emotional spending. Again, women can be emotional about money and about things, especially if the thing that you're wanting to buy you think is a benefit for your family. A habit to break is break that emotional spending cycle. Critically ask yourself, is it a want or a need? If it's a need, do I need it now? Can I save up for it? Can I save for it to go? Can I wait for it to go on sale? Make clear, conscious decisions about how you spend your money. Number 2, ignoring savings and not setting goals. One of the things that I recommend highly is to have a written plan. What is your plan to become financially independent? What is your budget? And your budget needs to be written. It needs to be monitored and updated periodically. You need to check your budget forecast against your actual to see what your variance is, to see if you are meeting your budget. If you put a budget in place and then every single month you are exceeding your entertainment line item, then you're not following your budget, and you need to get more critical about what items you spend your money on when it comes to entertainment. Do you need to go to the movies? Can you wait for that movie to come out on Netflix and you buy it? In our household, there's kind of an unwritten rule that my husband loves Star Wars. He's a Star Wars nut. If a Star Wars movie comes out, we go to the theater to see it. And we usually go as a family. My husband usually goes multiple times, to be honest with you. But anything else that comes out in a theater, typically we wait until it's on a streaming service that we can purchase or rent. And then we will stay home. We'll save the gas. We save the time. We're not spending a lot of money on drinks and popcorn because I make that here myself for a fraction of the price. And then the best part for me is I can pause the movie, go to the restroom, come back and restart the movie, and I hadn't missed anything. So that's something I love about watching movies at home. So that's something to consider. The third item that is keeping you from becoming wealthy is carrying credit card balances. I've said this before, I'll say this again. To become wealthy, you have to get out of commercial debt. You have to close out these credit cards. You cannot carry a balance. If you're using a credit card, you must pay it off every month, period. There's nothing else to be said on that one. Number 4 is not tracking expenses and spending. Again, that goes back to your budget. You have to have a budget, and a budget is a live document. It is written down, or it's in Excel, or it's in some other budget program or app. It doesn't matter how you budget. It's critical that you budget. And in your budget, you have to track every dollar that you spend. So you know where that money goes. You know how you're spending it. And then you can make better spending choices in the future. The 5th and last habit that is preventing you from becoming wealthy is procrastinating on investments. If you're not making your money work for you, you're wasting time and energy. I know you work hard for every dime you make. I work hard for the money that I make. Everybody I know works hard for the money they make. They're given 110% at their job, whether they're an owner or not. It's just the right thing to do. If someone is paying for you to do a job, then you're going to do that to the best of your ability. So you're working hard to earn that money. Do not let it sit around. Do not let it be lazy. Make it go to work for you. You worked for it. Make it work for you. Invest it. Use the beautiful, wonderful compound interest that is I think Einstein called it the miracle of compound interest. But the key to compound interest is time. The sooner and the younger you are when you start investing for your retirement, the more money you're going to have, because compound interest only works if it's a long time duration. You're talking decades. So if you wait 10 years to pay off your debt because you had that much debt racked up, you're missing out on the beauty and the awesomeness of compound interest. I say take $100 a month, invest that, get the benefit of compound interest as soon as you can. Then everything else you have, throw at debt to pay it down. But $100 a month isn't that much. $100 a month isn't going to make a huge dent into your commercial debt. Invest that $100, get the compound interest, make your money work for you. Everything else, pay off your debt with. And another thing I've mentioned that I'm a huge advocate of, Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz's book. He said that at one point in his life, he sold everything that wasn't nailed down. And I think you need to do that. Anything that you can sell, do it. Take that money, use it to either invest or pay off debt. Hopefully you're already out of debt and you can just put it straight toward investing. If not, take that money and use it to pay down your commercial debt, because you've got to get out of debt before you can become wealthy. So I hope these items and these habits really help you to focus on what you need to stop doing in your life to help you become wealthy. If you have any questions, please list them out below. I'll reach out. Again, I'm here to help. Thank you so much. Oh, I know. I know you can say hello. You can say hello. Say hello.